What's up, y'all? I'm Lamont, and I've decided to take my wine brand to the next level by opening a brick and mortar location in my rural hometown. If you're new to the channel, appreciate you for checking out the content. If you've seen some previous videos, appreciate you for coming back. The boutique urban winery will be located in my rural hometown of Brazoria, Texas. I'm documenting some of the details of my journey to hopefully inspire some people to keep reaching towards their goals and dreams. So thanks for checking out the content. Please subscribe and like the channel. And also feel free to tell a friend or two to follow me on my journey. Hey guys, so Black History Month 2025 is coming to an end. I wanted to change up the format just a little bit. I'd be remiss if I didn't publicly acknowledge this month, especially during times like these. So when I started my brand in 2019, I kind of fell into the same old boring, mundane label designs that you would see in the stores. But now I make it a point to incorporate the culture in most, if not all of my designs. So I wanted to come through and talk about a couple of designs that I kind of hold near and dear. So Pandemic, if you guys didn't know, was my very first release in 2019. I initially fell in line with those boring designs as I talked about earlier. And by the time the second release came around, I grew to understand where I wanted my brand to go and what I wanted to represent. You will see in the second release of Pandemic how I started moving in a different direction. I had already made the decision to be more intentional about my brand and the label designs. The piece called Sloan served as inspiration to the label that I used for the second run of Pandemic. It was created by the first African American artist to achieve international acclaim for being an artist. His name was Henry Ossawa Tanner. Fun fact, the name Henry O. Tanner adorned the building that was once an educational staple in the community where I grew up. Before becoming the pre-K and the kindergarten that I attended as a kid, Henry O. Tanner was the school that the blacks in Brazoria attended before desegregation. So the name Henry O. Tanner will always hold a special place in the hearts of many folks in this area. Next up is Celebration. Celebration is my first sparkling wine. As you can tell by the label design, it was boring, it was plain, it was just like everything else that you see on the shelves. But just like the second run of Pandemic, I switched it up with Celebration as well. I understood what I wanted my brand to look like. I understood the brand identity and what I wanted to represent. So I got inspired by what I believe is the most iconic celebratory image of all time. The Sugar Shack by Ernie Barnes. If you haven't seen this, if you don't know what it is, it came from the television show Good Times. It's the one at the end where everybody's posing and dancing and having a good time. So I chose that as my image of inspiration for the sparkling wine called Celebration. Fun fact, in May of 2022, the Sugar Shack, that painting actually sold for $15.2 million. That was about 76 times over what they initially thought it would sell for. Now, that definitely calls for a celebration. Moving on. 1876 is a seasonal wine I released during the homecoming of my alma mater, the Prairie View A&M University. This is another label design that ended up kind of basic still, but I started to go with what I thought was beneficial to my brand. Let's talk Wineberry Over Gold. So Wineberry Over Gold is perhaps the crowd favorite of all of the labels that I've done thus far. This label is uniquely inspired by the Texas car culture. Also, Robert Earl Davis Jr. If you don't know who it is, you probably should Google it. If you know, you can or not, whatever you want to do. Enchantress is another one of my favorites. I was inspired by the story of a brothel owner and a real estate executive. Hannah Elias, I believe that's how you pronounce it. She was born in 1865 and she became one of the wealthiest black women of her time. Elias purchased several properties in New York. She was known as an empress of real estate and she played an integral role in turning Harlem into a safe haven for those black families that migrated up north. Hannah Elias eventually moved to Europe and she was never heard from again. Her death date is unknown. Her story is wild and crazy, but that's just a quick synopsis. So go ahead and do your research. Grace and Goddess are the last two that I want to discuss and that I want to share. I chose those for obvious reasons and also because I was looking for a design that was a little edgy but still feminine. And I think I accomplished that in both designs. Be sure to follow Hall Family Estates on all social media platforms. Be on the lookout for investment, membership, and donation opportunities. Also, send me your questions. Not too thrilled about the concerns, but you can send those as well. Oh yeah, talk to me nice. I'm a vlogger now. Cheers. I can't let you go.